Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I'd like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with TP-Link. Today's host is Camelia Hagigat, and she is their territory representative and today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box, and Camelia can answer them at the end of today's presentation. Camelia, we're so happy to have you back today. I'm greatly appreciate your time and what you have to share with us. I am finished for now, so please go ahead and take it on over.
Thank you so much, Julie. Good morning, everybody. For anyone who's joined us before, nice to see you again. Today, we're going to talk about building the correct solution for you. For anyone who's new, we will go over the Omada solution again, and then I'll give you a brief overview of our live controller before moving on to our website to help you navigate where to go when picking your solution. So TP-Link Omada is our managed Wi-Fi solution. For anyone who's used Ubiquiti, it's very similar to Unify. We also have a Pro line, which is very similar to Ruckus. So we have 3 different controller types with this system. One is cloud-based, the other is a software, and the last option is hardware. For our software and hardware controllers, there's no licensing fees. Our software is free to download. You just need a system that can host the software. And our hardware controller, the only cost is the hardware cost. Once you have the hardware controller, there's no licensing fees associated with that. With our cloud-based controller, there is a licensing fee. It's $9.99 per device per year. Why I tend to recommend the cloud-based controller is because it offers zero-touch provisioning, which means if you have a more national footprint and are deploying in locations further out from your central base, you would not need to hire high-level techs to get those installations done. You could hire someone that just knows how to connect the devices, after which, utilizing the serial numbers, you would be able to adopt and pre-provision from your office. Our solution can work in multiple deployment scenarios, whether it be MDU, office, hospital. We have wall plate access points, outdoor access points, ceiling mount access points. We also have a diverse range of switches to fit your needs. And we have routers. Now, I'll say that our switches and our access points are some of our biggest sellers. Our routers are also great, although we're not a firewall company. So if you have higher security needs, I would recommend utilizing something like Fortinet or Nomadix. Those 2 brands work really well with our solution. We also have an app that will give you access to your controller on the go. If you need to check on your system health, the app also offers notifications real time. This is very important in offering a seamless client experience. Without management, your clients will tend to have to call you once they know a pain point before the issue can be mitigated. Whereas with management, especially with app access, you'll be able to be notified about anything going on in the system before the client can ever know or experience the impact of that. So I'm going to show you the controller now. So once you log into the controller, you'll be able to, let me pull this out of my way. You will be pulled up onto this page. Creating an account on the controller is very easy. You just have to create a TP-Link ID and password. Regardless of the controller type that you're utilizing, all controllers will be viewed through this web portal, which is omada.tplinkcloud.com. Once you're on here, you can launch a controller. This is a cloud controller that is the demo that I will utilize. Once you launch the controller, you can click the site. So click launch controller, select your site. and your controller will be launched. On here, you click your site down here, and you'll be pulled onto your dashboard. Your dashboard is completely customizable. You can look at different data points depending on what your core focus is as a company. On here, you also have a statistics tab. In your statistics tab, you're able to look at the statistics of all your devices. This is great if you are doing installations that require a lot of switch management. You're able to look at your switch health, what ports are connected, what are the usage, what is the user count, etc. You also have a heat mapping function. So on here you have topology and heat map. With topology, you're able to see exactly how your devices are connected in your system. It also gives you the link rates. On your heat map, you're able to upload a floor plan. So let's see. Here's the floor plan. You can edit and then input any walls that you have, as well as devices. If you don't have any devices already adopted, you can add virtual devices. If the walls that you're looking for are not in this list, you can also add a new wall. Once you do that, you click done, and then you can simulate. This feature is very useful when bidding on a project to give evidence-backed reasoning to why your recommendation stands as it does. This also allows you to ensure that your system will be most effective before installation. Your next tab would be devices. In your devices tab, you're able to look at all the devices in your system. If you click, for example, one of your switches, a side portal will pop up. In this portal, if you hover over different ports that are connected, it gives you all the port information, how much power is being pulled, data rates, etc. What's great about this is you're able to see, for example, if you have a camera connected and you know that camera, let's say this value is the wattage your camera pulls. You can also set up notifications to let you know if the PoE power is less than this point. That way you know that, okay, the camera is most likely offline, and then you can remotely reboot the port. You can also create port profiles should you need to. Your port profiles are listed in here. In your settings tab down here is where you would create those profiles. You also have a clients tab, so you can see all the devices that are connected to your system. As you can see, I'm on a demo system right now, so we don't have any clients connected, but should there be any clients, it will let you know all the data about those clients. You also get insights into your system, so known clients, past connections, what your switch status is, if you have any port forwarding protocols in your system, that will also show up in here, dynamic DNS, and if there are any rogue APs outside, access points outside of your system. It also lets you know if there are any threats in your system and quality of service data. So quality of service, for those of you that don't know, is essentially, say you have a license plate camera at the front of the building to allow, say it's an apartment complex, you have a license plate camera to allow the cars in immediately based on their license plates. You want to make sure that that camera is online at all times, and you can utilize quality of service protocols to ensure that that port receives priority, data priority, when dividing up the connection. You also have some tools in here that allow you to check out your network, your package capture, and your you can utilize your terminal as well. In your reports tab, this is a holistic summary of how your system is doing. If you offer a package for management, this can be very useful in sharing with the company that you're working with. You can also, the end user that you're working with, you can also charge to send them this, but it's a very easy step. You just click here, export and download. Once it's downloaded, you just open the file, and then all that information is in here. In your settings tab, this is where you do most of your configurations. You can set up your site information over here, also your wireless features. Specifically, what's most impactful for many is the mesh. Make sure that you enable mesh if you would like to create a mesh system. You also have auto failover, so if you have two ISP connections because you want redundancy for failover, you can create that, you can enable that in here. Also fast roaming, AI roaming, band steering, etc. In your wired networks tab, this is where you would configure your WAN and your port information for your WAN ports, as well as your LAN information. In LAN, you also have multiple tabs, including switch profiles and switch settings. In your wireless, you can create your SSIDs. Under network security, these are all the network security protocols that we have available on Omada. Things like MAC filtering, firewall, IDS, IPS. You can create block lists, allow lists. Under transmission, this is where you can limit bandwidth and sessions. So if you have a guest network where, say it's a restaurant, customers can be logged in for an hour before they have to re-log in. That's where you can create, under session limits, you can create a new rule. Under the network, select your network, and you can have a maximum number of sessions. Under bandwidth control, you can control the speed and bandwidth that each device connected to your system is able to utilize. This helps manage the total connection that you get from your ISP to ensure that everyone is receiving an adequate amount of bandwidth. So say if bandwidth control was not applied, if somebody was trying to download a 5 gigabit video, they would consume a lot more of the data, which would then result in a reduced quality for the rest of the clients in your system. Having bandwidth control mitigates issues like that. Here's also where you would apply your quality of service protocols, either at the router level under gateway QoS or on the switch level under switch QoS. You can also configure VPN, whether regular VPN, SSL VPN, or WireGuard. Under here, on every tab, I would recommend looking at the top to see if you have other subgroups under that same tab, so you can enable a server. You can also look at your resource management, your user groups, and your locked out users. You could, under profiles is where you create most of your profiles and all your profiles regarding your switch. You can also create authentication. So we have captive portal authentication available here. Captive portal is similar to what you utilize at a hotel, where you log into their Wi-Fi and that web portal pops up to get you to connect. You can create a portal in here, enable it, and then customize the look of the portal based on your client's needs. For those of you who have DHCP reservation or utilizing dynamic DNS, etc., that would be under services. DHCP reservation is the first tab. You then have dynamic DNS. This is also where you would create a reboot schedule should you have a reboot schedule for your ports, as well as a port schedule. If you use Dish TV or anything of that nature, you also have the IPTV tab that will allow you to utilize IGMP to ensure that your IPTV system is being utilized. You also have an upgrade schedule. I personally recommend not automatically updating your system, because if you have any, if you don't have any complex systems created, you can definitely do this. If you have any complex systems created, I know, as most of you already know, auto upgrades can sometimes affect your already in place systems. You can also export all this data based on your needs. So now that we went over the controller and the solution itself, the next question, which is why most of you are here, is to see how do you select the right solution for you. I'd like to show this through our website, as our website is probably where you would go first to navigate this question. When you log into our website, this is the page that, or not log in, when you go to our website, this is the page that will pop up for you. Ignore everything on the front page. We're working on separating our business website from our consumer line, but right now everything is congregated into one location. So once you log into our website, you can go under the business tab. You will see Omada and Omada Pro. I've only went over Omada today, but to give you a little insight on Omada Pro, it is very similar to Omada with advanced features that are more geared towards MSPs. Pro is at a higher price point, but you have more margin. And Pro also is completely protected from the channel, meaning that there's nowhere online that you'll be able to see pricing on this product. And to purchase this product, you would have to sign an agreement with TP-Link, ensuring that you would not advertise pricing on our Pro line. So when you go under Omada, this is the page that you first see. Gives you a little bit of a background on our products. Now, if you look at this, these are pretty useful if you click, for example, small and medium offices. If you're newer to this and you're not sure where to start, this is a great place to start. It actually gives you a solution topology and a product recommendation based on the size of the project you're working on. This allows you to get a good idea about what you're looking for and to narrow down your search instead of navigating our website where we have over 100 products under the business unit and under Omada. Also gives you some information on the key benefits and some information on our support. The products are also listed by their icon down here. So for example, if you'd like to look into that, you could click it and it will take you to the overview and specifications of the product. So if I were a installer or integrator, this is the first place I would look if I was not sure where to start. If you already have an idea of what you're looking for, I would go on to here and still open up that first page like we did. Under here, you can look at Wi-Fi. Our Wi-Fi tab is our access point. So if you click Wi-Fi, you'll be able to see all the access point options that you have available. You can then click between ceiling mount, wall plate, and outdoor. So let's say we click ceiling mount, learn more. You can then also filter based on the speed that you're looking for, the Wi-Fi standard that you're interested in, the form factor. I know for a lot of clients, aesthetics are also a big player. So looking at the form factor would also help. I would also say that most of our access points, if you see in these images, right, some of our access points are slim. Most of them are slim at this point, but we do have some that are larger. I would say it doesn't really affect you except for unless you're working on Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 7 access points, the smaller form factor has not yet been released. But if you're working in Wi-Fi 6, 99% of them are the slim form factor. The only ones I would suggest looking at the form factor data under specifications is our HD products or high density products, as high density products tend to require a little more space at this point in time. You can also look into the switches. Up here, you can select the type of switch you're looking for: smart, easy, smart, unmanaged, or L3, L2 plus managed. You can also filter by PoE. For those who don't know, Easy Smart is essentially not full managed, but it's not a full dummy switch either. Easy Smart gives you a GUI, general user interface access, to allow you to do some basic configurations like basic VLANs. Very simple, very easy to navigate. Under your switches, we have, I would say switches are our largest portfolio. If you click, for example, PoE switches, it will take you to this list. Here you can also filter by port speed. If you filter by port speed here, it will filter by full port speed. But if you filter by, if for example, you need a full gigabit switch where all the ports are 1 gig, but you need a 10 gig uplink, look at our naming. If you see the X right here at the end, X at the end means 10 gig uplink, or M-M2 at the end means 2.5 gig uplink. Anything that says SG is full 1 gig ports. If it says SX instead of SG, it's full 10 gig ports. So let's look at that. For example, the SX3206 HPP. That is a full 10 gig switch. Anything with a P at the end is PoE. That's why, as you can see here, all the switches listed here have a P at the end. If it's MP or HP, it just means higher power, higher wattage available on the switch. When building your system, I would recommend, again, looking at this, getting a general idea of what you're looking for, whether it's through our guided topology maps or through navigation of our website and filtering of our website. Once you have a general idea of what kind of system you will need, you can email me. When you email me, please send me your general product lineup as well as a blueprint of your project and the location of your project. We can confirm your design and help adjust your design to make sure that your system is optimized and the most efficient. Once you work with us once or twice, honestly, after that point, you're pretty solid and good to go. We like to work with you on the first couple of projects to ensure that you have the right thinking process in place. That is everything that I have for you today. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer those for you. Julia?
Hi, Camelia. Thank you so much for that presentation. I know I enjoyed it very much. And yes, I've got some audience questions for you. Let me read off the first one to you. Here we go. Can Omada solutions be integrated with existing network infrastructure?
Yes. So Omada can be integrated with existing network infrastructure. So you will not be able to manage what is already existing in the system, as whatever is already existing probably has its own management platform, but you will be able to utilize Omada in tandem. Now, integrating it depends on how you're integrating it. That will inform how you utilize it in tandem. If you're integrating it, say a client has their Wi-Fi set up and you're introducing their security system, you can integrate it by plugging in to one of the switches in the existing system just to get the connectivity, and then building a complete Omada system around your security system. if you're integrating it into an existing Wi-Fi system to also give Wi-Fi to the users or clients in the environment, that is also feasible. You would just have to do a little bit more manual work to understand where the existing access points are and adjust the settings on your system to ensure that there is not too much interference between the existing system and the Omada system that you're deploying.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I have another question here for you. Here we go. How does TP-Link support customers during and after deployment of Omada solutions?
So during deployment, you have access to me. I'm pretty high level. Our salespeople are pretty high level technical knowledge, so we can usually help you with most things. If there's anything that I can't directly help you with, or I don't feel as confident to help you with, I will connect you with one of our in-house engineers. Our in-house engineers are in my office with me, so they're local. I would also say to get the support from us, it is imperative to sign up for our partner program. Our partner program is called Solution X. Sign up takes about 10 minutes. There's no requirement of you or any commitment that you have to make to sign up. Signing up is just beneficial to you. You get to acquire or accrue points. And in doing so, level up your tiers. As you level up your tiers, you'll have steeper discounts with each purchase, and this system also allows you access to our further support resources that are available 24/7.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next question here for you. Does Omada support VPN integration?
VPN integration, can you expand on that question? As in, is the VPN already existing? As in, there's a VPN protocol already existing in the existing system, or in what sense?
That I don't have any further expansion on that question because I am reading from a question box. But we can get back to that. Can we go on to the next one?
Yes, we can get back to it. If whoever did ask that question, if you can shoot me an email, I can
Sure.
work with you to further expand on that question. Essentially,
Excellent.
though, if there's already an existing VPN protocol, you would have to configure your VPN to match that within our system. Or you can just allow the existing system to run the VPN for you.
Okay. I'm just making a note here. Thank you so much. Next question here for you. What analytics and reporting features are available in Omada?
So that's a very broad question. If you go back to the controller, you can see in here, in your insights tab. Okay, so let's look at, for example, our logs. In our logs tab, it will give you all these different options in here. So there's many different analytics and options that you can look at. So whether it's system or device, you can turn things on and off. So if I ran through this whole list, we'd be here until tomorrow. But there's a lot of analytics that you can look at in here. You also have further analytics on your dashboard. Like I said, this is a customizable dashboard, so you can look at network analytics, which are in the first segment, right? So you can look at your VPN analytics, your active APs, your active switches, your traffic distribution, your Wi-Fi summaries, client distribution, traffic activities, rate, drop rate, retired rate. There are things like PoE utilization, interference analytics. You can also look at longest client uptime, client frequency or distribution, SSID distribution, onboarding times, etc. So there's quite a few different types of analytics available. The idea is that we wanted to give you all the options and then you can narrow down based on your specific needs. If you go into insights, you can also see further analytics that are more on the back end to look at the clients, the past connections, the past portal authentication or authorizations, your switch status, what is the status of each switch. You can also look at your VPN status, whether it's IPsec VPN, OpenVPN, SSL VPN, or WireGuard VPN. You can also look at dynamic DNS, or if you have any rogue APs. This is great to look at if you have other APs in the system. You can also look at threat management and QoS data. Your reports also give you a holistic overview of the analytics.
Excellent. Thank you, Camelia. That was a big, wide question, and there's a lot there. So that's good to know. And to see you showing it, that's fantastic. This next question might even be somewhat related. It reads, how does Omada handle network congestion and traffic prioritization?
So you can create your own, I would say, protocols depending on what traffic, how you want to optimize your traffic. Our software and hardware controller doesn't have any AI optimization in it, but our cloud controller does. So if you utilize our cloud controller, you can enable AI optimization, which we passed by it earlier today. So here you can look at AI roaming, for example, and then I don't have access to the full cloud right now, but with the full cloud, you can also enable AI optimization. AI optimization will just notify you on potential issues that it sees, so traffic congestion being one of them. You can also, to the point of traffic congestion, you can also enable things like fast roaming and band steering. These allow you to either band steering allows you to concentrate your Wi-Fi coverage to certain locations, and fast roaming, essentially, for example, if you have an iPhone 4 and an iPhone 13 on the same network, the iPhone 4 will congest your 2.4 gigahertz bandwidth because it's not able to utilize Wi-Fi 6, right? So with something like fast roaming, a protocol like fast roaming, it, what's the word I'm looking for? It mitigates this issue. I think mitigates is the right word. Mitigates this issue by being aware of that difference and limiting how much of the bandwidth that iPhone 4 can utilize to ensure that all devices on the network are getting airtime fairness, meaning that each device is getting an adequate amount of connection and there's not one device that's bogging down the traffic. And
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, please go. Please continue.
No worries. You can also mitigate traffic congestion with things like bandwidth control and uplink and downlink rate limits.
Thank you so much, Camelia. Last question here for you. Does TP-Link handle firmware updates, or excuse me, how does TP-Link handle firmware updates and patches for Omada devices?
So when we have a firmware update, you'll be notified in your devices tab. It will show you. So in here, I don't have anything that requires an update right now, but you'll see this little arrow pop up here, like an upward facing arrow, that will let you know that there is firmware that requires updating. You can go in and auto update. You can enable auto updates and have an auto update schedule, or when you log into your system and you look at your devices, you can click the arrow to upgrade your device. If you ever experience, I'm not going to tell you it's a perfect world. Anything that comes with tech is a little bit finicky. It doesn't matter what company you are, it doesn't matter what product you sell. Firmware updates can be finicky sometimes. We do our best to mitigate any issues internally. Anytime we're pushed a firmware update, we test it first. But we're not all seeing and all knowing. And with everyone having different application scenarios, you might notice something that is only prevalent when based on the way that you are deploying your system or your system is configured. If you ever do experience something like that and requires a patch, you just let us know. We prioritize that as it's an issue or a challenge that's being faced in an active system, and usually we can get that fixed for you very quickly, or you would work directly with our engineers to get that mitigated.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Camelia, for answering all of those questions for us. And thank you to everyone attending today. If anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep, or you can email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And if you wish to view any of the products mentioned and shown here today, please remember that this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so we can all view it again. Thank you so much, Camelia, for your time and all of your information with this presentation today. Thank you to our audience members. Everybody, please go on and have a fantastic rest of your day.
Thank you, Julie, for having me, and thank you, everybody, for attending.
Welcome, Camelia. Bye-bye, and until next time.
Until next time, bye-bye.